Guys, I know Lightroom is a little tricky, but it has some great stuff when you're importing images. One of the things that I've always feared, and I've done videos on this in the past, is losing all of my images. In fact, right before Christmas, about 4 months ago, I lost 4 hard drives at the same exact time, something that's never ever supposed to happen, but somehow Mac and Apple made it happen. I am now more concerned and worried about how I'm uploading my files and how I'm storing my files. So I'm going to show you guys how I import my images into my system. And hopefully this helps you guys, and maybe you'll learn some things that you didn't know before. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeramie. I'm with Jeramie Lou Photography, obviously. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If this video helps you anyway, give it a thumbs up and then click that bell for notifications. It'll just tell you every time I come on. Guys, we're in front of the computer right now, and I'm going to show you guys how I import my images. This is very important because the way you import your images shows where the images and files are going and how to back them up while you're importing them, because you're going to be able to create two different backups at the exact same time and have your images stored. Also, you'll have them on your card just in case anything happens. So if you're just importing images, kind of throwing into galleries or collections, you're not really doing it right. You have to set up a certain thing, and you can create a profile for yourself to do it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into Lightroom here, and I will show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, so we are in my import gallery. You guys have seen this before. As soon as you put a card in, this comes up, or if you go into the bottom left here, you can hit import and your screen will come up. I just did a couple Lightroom tutorials you're more than welcome to find. We just did one on how to cull and process your images. And why? Why did you stop? On how to cull and process your images, and then how to batch edit. So if you guys are interested in those, they should be right before this video, or you can search my channel for it as well. A lot of photography talk right now. So we are among the coronavirus. It's April 3rd. It is PPP Day, Payroll Protection Program, and we are at home doing a bunch of stuff. So I feel like I've just been in front of the computer all day, trying to feel busy. I got dressed today. That's not part of this video. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm sorry. It's kind of my rambling. So guys, we are in this screen right now on how to import photos, right? So the main thing that you're gonna see here at the beginning is you're gonna see this file handle screen. Everything's kind of going. Yours is gonna say something different up here. Mine says something different. So the card, or where you're gonna import, is gonna be here on the left. And I have a memory card in here that I've just grabbed that I've already imported before. So these are going to be imported. So what we want to do is we're going to look at this screen right here first, right? So it's going to say you have where the file is going, how you want it to build. Do you want it to build smart previews, import selected, duplicates? So I'm going to go through all of this with you at the same time, but we're going to create our own profile. I'm actually going to show you my profile because I don't want to delete it and recreate it because I'm nervous that that's going to happen to me. But like I said, this is how I can back up to 2 at once. Before we get into it, you guys will need 2 separate hard drives for this. I do not store anything on the computer itself, on the computer hard drive. First off, you're going to lose a ton of space because we're shooting a lot of large raw files. But secondly, once it gets to a point where your computer can't handle it anymore, your computer will just shut down. You won't have access to it. If there's a fire or something happens, you can't just grab your computer and go out. I mean, you might be able to. Mine, for sure, I can't. It's stuck in this little world. So having 2 external hard drives is great. I highly recommend getting a good RAID system. We can talk about that later as well, but I use an 18 terabyte RAID system from Old World Computing, OWC, called a Thunder Bay 4. And I have 4 6 terabyte hard drives in there, and it creates 18 terabytes. It's just another way of backing up. But let's say you don't have that. You need 1 good hard drive. I used to use like an 8 terabyte Western Digital or Seagate, and buy the exact same one. So you have 2 of them. So your backup system, always, whenever you're buying hard drives, one thing to learn, especially in our industry, is you're always buying two. You never buy just one hard drive, you buy two. So make sure you price that out. Right now, I know an 8 terabyte hard drive at Costco is about $130. So having two of those at 8 terabytes, especially if you're not shooting as much as I am, might actually last you quite a long time. So with that being said, you select your card. We're going to select our card here. The thing said include subfolders. You always want to include subfolders. For the simple fact of sometimes when you're shooting, if you haven't adjusted or changed your file numbers in your camera, and say you've stored these images for a while, maybe it's called ABC1234. Maybe that's a file number. Well, after a while, ABC1234 might show up again, and it's going to not allow you to download it for the simple fact that it said, hey, you've already downloaded this before. It's just the same file. They're not looking at the image, it's looking at the file name. So if you see, if I click here, it goes away. A lot of these images are going away. It shows right here how many are saying 1639, 1614, and so forth. Sorry, it's small, guys. I haven't mastered the zoom yet. I haven't mastered how to zoom into my setup. So, pause it, getting close. So if I click this again, it's going to show me all the images on here as well. These are some headshots that I've done recently. And we're going to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm not Italian. I don't know what that's coming from. Okay, so if you guys look down here, these are your user presets. You can save your current settings as new preset, restore default. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and set up your all setup here, and then you can save current as your new preset. So mine's called Jeramie Lou Import, Jeramie Lou Photography, JLP Import, right? So super simple, guys. I have this set up already as my own. I'm going to go through the process. So you always start from top to bottom, and we're going to start from the top. So the first section right here is on the top middle. I have it as copy. Copy photos to a new location and add to catalog. Just keep it as copy. I actually can't see what the others say right now. My screen's in the way. Oh, here it goes. Copy as DNG, move or add. We're not moving from a card to another card. We're not adding. We are copying. So just keep it a copy. That way it stays stored on your memory card as well. You don't fidget. You don't mess around with the new memory card. You want to leave it on the memory card. One tip that I'll tell you guys is once you're done uploading your card, I have a trick. I have these sitting on a desk. I have a lot of memory cards, guys, like a crap ton of memory cards. I think I have like 50 or 60 in here. I order 2 every month. I throw the ones that I've used into here, and the ones that I still need to use go into here. So eventually they switch, right? So I want it set up that I don't reuse a memory card for an entire month. And that way, if something does happen, I can actually go back into the used one and find the memory card. I'm like, oh my, it's happened. Oh my God, I didn't download the right photos. Oh my God, I didn't download all the photos. I don't know what I did wrong. Something happened. And at least I can go back and be like, oh my God, at least I still have them on the memory card. And then I upload them again. So it happens all the time. It's no mistake of my own. I blame Lightroom, but it's also like, you don't know. Sometimes you come home from a wedding, 4,000 images, 6,000 images, you just let it go. You wake up in the morning, it says it's done. And then you realize it didn't download like 100 images. What's up? So you figure it out later, but you don't need to figure it out with your client. Okay, so we have it as copy. The first section is where do you want your main photos to go, right? So you can, normally the default location is in your pictures folder, whether you're on Mac or PC. Side note, this works on Mac or PC. It doesn't really matter. Lightroom's Lightroom. So you don't want that. I have it set up to going to my 18 terabyte RAID, which I named. And I have a folder in there called Lightroom main. So wherever it's going, you're just going to transfer it. If you already have it on your desktop pictures, just go ahead and take that. And you can copy the images, make a new folder where you want it to go. So say you uploaded a new Seagate 8 terabyte, go into the 8 terabyte, name it 8 terabyte main raw files or Lightroom main or Lightroom first or whatever for you to know, and have a folder that says Lightroom raw files. These are where your raw files are going, and that's all you need. Make a folder. It'll all go into that folder for you. It'll even section it off to the years and all that stuff as well. So that's where I want it to go. Now, file handling is the first thing we're going to look at. So file handling is how we want it to handle our files. I don't know why I said that. So there's one-to-one, standard, embedded in sidecar, and minimal. I actually don't know what this is. I've never seen this before. I think this is an update. But that's cool. A sidecar like the sidecar. So minimal. So what this means is when it builds the previews for you, when you guys actually like upload or look at the photos. So say you're looking at all the photos, you took 200 photos from a portrait session or Disneyland or whatever, and you look it up, and you don't want it to have to load every single time for it to happen. What's happening is the images are being stored as thumbnails on this Lightroom, but your main folder, so it has to go to your hard drive to get the image to bring it back. So when I upload it, it's going to take longer, but I just do 1-to-1, which means when you do it, bro, just make sure you're doing the whole file, everything, so that I don't have to wait again when I go to edit them or when I go to look at them. And so the other ones are minimal, like just enough for me to see the thumbnail, and standard is regular. Do 1-to-1. It'll take a little bit longer to upload, but this way the frustration of going from editing an image and then go to the next image for it to pixelize and then come up and so forth isn't going to happen, okay? Build smart previews. Now, I don't build smart previews. I don't need it. I do everything on my desktop, but what smart previews are is it stores all the information to edit, to view the photo all on your computer, as well as a smaller smart file. And that way, when you upload the image, you don't have to actually have it attached to the hard drive. These are great for people that edit on the go, meaning that once I upload the files, I can leave the hard drive at home, take my laptop to a Starbucks whenever Starbucks reopens, and I can actually edit there. It stores all of the EXIF data, all of the data for the editing, and I don't have to have it attached. But when I go home to export it, I can plug it into my hard drive then, and then export it. But I can still edit on the go, edit on a plane or a bus or a train or whatever that you want to edit on. I edit everything on this computer. I don't ever have to do that, so I don't. If I ever become a traveling photographer, it's a great way to do. At this point, I don't build smart previews. I don't need to. It will store more on your hard drive, just know that, but that's what it's there for, right? Do not import duplicates. I have that set up now. Notice how the screen is blank. If I select this, if I decide, you know what, I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything, blah. So if you're shooting with the same card over again, so I'll say I did the shoot and all of a sudden the client goes, oh, I need a couple more shots, I've already uploaded, I can just pull this card out, pop it in, and it'll show me everything that hasn't been uploaded theoretically. This is super important right here. Make second copy too. So guys, if you notice I'm clicking, things are happening. What's happening down here is my JLP import is now saying edited. If I go back to where it was when I had it, cool. So it'll tell me it's edited, something's changed. So if you go to import and you see it says edited, you've altered something in your field. Make a second copy too. Remember how I said you had 2 hard drives? Now you have that second external hard drive named raw, Lightroom raw backup, Lightroom raw second version, Lightroom raw, don't ever touch, don't ever open, don't ever do ever. So what's going to happen is you can set up a second backdrop location wherever you want. You're going to go to choose folder. It's going to open it up for you. You're going to find the other folder. I don't even know if you guys can see the screen actually. And you're going to find where that is. What's going to happen is Lightroom's going to import it normally as it would for that first folder. And then once it's done, it's actually going to import it again to that second folder. You've literally just created a backup right away. You haven't had to do anything. It's going to do it on its own. So if something does happen with that first hard drive, you have that second hard drive to access your folder. I don't touch that second hard drive ever. In fact, I've never had to go into it. The whole Mac thing, you can watch my video on how I lost my files. It wasn't my fault, I promise you. I don't select this at all, but if you'd like to select it, you can select it. It'll automatically add it to a collection for you. I have my own way of doing things, but if you know that you're importing a wedding of Sarah and John's wedding, you can add to collection. You can actually create a collection here as well, or do one that you already had, so quick collection. Add collection right here. So you can say Sarah and John's wedding. It'll import, back up, put in that collection for you as well, on top of putting the raws where they're supposed to go. Done, right? Easy peasy. I don't like that. I put everything into a certain spot. I'm very OCD about it. Next is file renaming. So once it's imported, it'll actually rename the file for if you'd like. So if you have Sarah and John's wedding and you're like Sarah and John's wedding 1, Sarah and John wedding 2, if you'd like that, then you can actually rename it. Select whatever you want to select, however you want to select a custom name, file name, and whatever. I don't. I let it come in as the file name itself. I really don't care, but when I export my files, then I change the name of the files there. So Sarah and John's wedding, final 1, 2, 3, 4, ceremony, whatever I want to do. And then the other thing that you can do, which is actually kind of neat, we've talked about batch editing before. We've talked about custom files and all that. If you really love a preset that you do, or maybe all your images have a certain preset that you do for your brand. Maybe it's always a little bit of contrast, up the exposure, warmth, or whatever. Whatever you do always, you can actually have this do that for you. These are all my presets that I have. Either I've created or I've purchased or I've bought throughout the time. User presets as well. So these are some that I've created and some that I've purchased. These are my presets, Jeramie Lou, that I use all the time on stuff. So I theoretically can go Jeramie Lou preset, boom. At this point, it'll upload, back up for me, name the file, and it'll set the preset up for me. If you guys are proofing photographers, meaning you shoot and you send your client proofs, you can actually just do this all in one spot. When you're done, all you have to do is really cull the images, and you can just send them to your clients and say, pick the ones that you love, and I'll edit those. Your metadata, you're going to create your metadata, so you can actually do it from here or just go into your files. All this stuff you can actually do in your file over here, but you can add your metadata. So my metadata is below. My metadata and my keywords all right here. This is just information that I put on every file that I have. Jeramie Lou Photography, jeramielou.com, Reno, Nevada, maybe the serial number to your camera, maybe anything that you want that's going to dictate. If somebody were to, the best way to think of it is somebody were to steal your images, how do you prove that it's yours? What do you put in your metadata to prove that it's yours? So mine just says my keywords right here are Jeramie Lou Photography, available for travel worldwide, jeramielou.com. In my metadata has a serial number. When you open this up, it's actually overwhelming. There are so many things that you can put into this metadata, and it automatically puts it in at the same time. So what is it doing now? It's importing the files. It is backing it up for you. It is putting your presets in, and it's throwing the collection in, and is adding the protection of the metadata for you all at once. That's it, right? So this is everything that I have here. Once you have what you have set up right here through everything, you're going to go down here and you're going to save current settings as a new preset. The other thing is if I do change anything, so now it says edited, I can update preset with this information. So say the first time you did it, you're like, you know what, I decided that I still want to use my preset. And you know, it can be a wedding preset, it can be, I used to have a proofing preset, so when I upload headshots, I wanted to just make sure that I add a little bit of contrast. I reduce the clarity a little so they don't see all their stuff, and so forth. And that way, when I go into edit, I know what I need to change. But you can update that. So that's it, guys. So once that happens, I then import my photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a little bit of an import here on what I actually do. So this is bonus. If you guys are good with that, if you have a way to import and way to select, ignore the rest of my video right here. Thank you so much. Have a good day. But for us, want to keep going, keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select, I don't know, 10 images or so. I'm going to deselect everything. Deselect. This is the edited now, right? Because we took off this. No, bro. Deselect. All right. So we're just going to import a few images. Okay. So what's gonna happen? Sharing is paused. It's paused sharing for some reason. I gotta see what's happening. Okay. So right now it's importing. If you look up here at the top, it imported all the images. Now it's building my one-to-one previews. I think the first one says copy and import. So it's already been put into my main hard drive, and it's already been put into my backup hard drive. I'm 100% that's how it works. But right now it's building my one-to-one preview. So right now it's taking all these images that I imported. Now it happened really quick. I've been 15, 20 seconds right now. 16 images happened really, really quickly. So it's importing right now. And what we're doing is we are waiting for the previews to happen. You can actually start working right now. So what that means is once the one-to-one previews are done, I can go from image to image and it's automatically ready to go. Yeah. So the first process is import and copy. And then the second is build my previews. Now, if you had 4,000 images, it's going to take a little bit longer. Basically, now I can go from image to image and there's no pixelization happening at all. It's just automatically there, right? Just kind of going through. So super quick. If you did the minimal or standard, every time you did this, it would take like 2 more seconds to finally load. 2 more seconds to finally load. And if you're culling or going through trying to go fast, oh, that's annoying. So do the one-to-one, please. Even if you have upload it in the middle of the night, just upload at your computer, upload in the middle of the night, and you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so what I do here is this all went, the first place it goes to in my raw folders is it goes into the date. So these all go into March 16th, 2020. Say, hi, my name's Jetson. You talk to it. Don't touch, talk. Say hello.
Hello.
My name's Jetson.
My name is Jetson.
I like to dance.
I like to dance.
First thing that it does is it stores it into the folder that I want, and it does it by date. So when you go into your main hard drive that you did everything with, it goes into the year, and then it goes into the date from there. So right now, this is what mine looks like, 2017, and so forth. So what I do now is when I'm importing, I've created this really cool smart collection that is really full right now. It says 67,273 images. This smart collection I made because when I lost some images, they actually got it for me back on my hard drive, but it came all formatted, discombobulated everywhere. The only thing that it kept was partial file names, but the actual date and time that was shot. So what I did was I uploaded, and what a smart collection is a smart collection then creates, you set parameters for it, and everything goes into there. So say everything shot in January of 2020, no matter what goes in there, or everything shot with the metadata of cheese grater goes in there, or so forth. So my smart collection here, I want to see if I can show you my edit on it. Cool. So what I did was, I actually saw this on YouTube somewhere else, but my collection was something simple. A smart collection, I named it Smart, not in collection finder. So something that's not in a finder or folder already. Match all. The collection does not contain the vowels A, E, I, O, U. Why did I do that? Oh, so what happens is I put everything into a collection as soon as I upload it. So these images, I'm going to show you where I'm going to put them. But as soon as I upload the files, I then go in and make sure that I put it in some sort of collection. And I have a couple cheat collections of unedited stuff, and it's just my OCD kind of working through. But really what this smart collection does, it shows me all of the images that are not in a collection now. So what that means is if you look at this, I match all the images into a collection that doesn't contain, so basically you can select whatever. So I selected, hey, if it's not in a collection, or if it's in a collection that doesn't contain E-I-A-O-U. I know that's confusing, but basically if you think about it, every single collection you're ever gonna make has a vowel in it, right? Because I name everything with the name. So Johnson family, Jones family, wedding, blah, blah, everything has a vowel. If it's not in a collection with a vowel, then it goes into this smart collection. So basically, if an image goes into my import section, imported anywhere, and it hasn't been put into a collection, it goes into this smart collection. Once I find that image, or once I take that image and I put it into any collection, it comes out of there. So all that means is all these images that I have in this collection, like Cyril, like this guy's is in here right now, because I don't have him in a collection. These are all images that are floating somewhere on my computer that aren't in a collection. Some of them are X's, are going to be deleted soon, and so forth. So extra tidbit, I can go into that in detail if you want. I feel like I didn't really get into detail with that with you guys, but it's a really smart thing. So I have a couple things here. I have unedited client images, unedited commercial images, unedited personal images, and so forth. So what I would do is I would take these images, and the little smart thing is here is their previous import. I would take these images, and then I would put them in my folder called unedited client images. Now what that's gonna do is I edit based off of this folder. So sometimes it says 10,000, sometimes it says 374. We're in coronavirus time. So these are images that I still need to edit for my clients. And basically I start from top to bottom. And once I edit a full set, then I throw it into a new collection. So I select all the images that I did edit, and then I go add, new create collection, and it throws it into a new collection, and I can remove it from that collection, guys. That last little bit was just extra. But this is how I import, and I feel like it's very important for you guys to know this because it took me a while to find my system. If you guys try to mimic my system and can't, that's fine, but find a system. So key things to remember, always have a backup. Always make sure you know where your files are going, and always edit in order of importing. And if you guys can do that, your career is going to be great and awesome, and you're not going to lose anything. But keep it simple as you possibly can. But back up your photos, guys. Like back it up. I spent a whole month, Thanksgiving into Christmas, where I felt like I was dying. I felt like I lost images, lost files, baby photos, personal photos of my own, images that I edited and had to end up re-editing, but I thought I lost forever. And how do you call people and tell you lost all the photos? That's not what you want. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you're having a good day. I'll talk to you later.